Hello, hello. Hope all is well today as we are going into this next live that I'm excited about. For anyone watching, we're live on two different platforms. So if you see me looking back and forth, that's why. But yeah, I'm excited because we're talking about New Year's success today. We only have this live and next Monday's live before the end of the year. So I'm actually going to split this in half and we'll do mainly New Year's success this today, and then next week. I know in the poll we talked through three different options, and since it was so high on all levels, we'll do New Year's success today, and then next week we'll follow up with New Year's success number 2, but talking about specifically how we can use affirmations in journaling, since that was both of them were voted pretty high. So that's the plan. And then we'll be breaking until the end of the year. And then the next time I'll see you guys will be January 6th, weirdly. Weirdly on January 6th, which is a Monday, I believe. I double checked myself. But yes, it is. So yeah, I'm glad we're getting an opportunity to talk through. Again, if you're seeing me look away, I'm looking at my notes and I'm looking at my other platforms. I'm also live on IG. And we'll get started here in a sec. But before I do, I hope all is well. Let me know how y'all doing in the comments. I hope all is well. I hope you all are blessed. I hope that this week started out in good spirits. As I get everything up here, I should have everything up here. Okay. I'm just double checking the poll just to make sure that it isn't adjusted. Hello, is it Jamin or Yamin maybe? Hello, how are you? How are you? We're gonna jump right in here in just a second. As soon as I get my life together. Yeah, so defining New Year's success is still number one, but the power of journaling and how to use affirmations, we're both at 30%. So we'll do those next week in addition to this. Glad you love the music. Yes, I'm having a great day. Hello, hello, hello. So we're going to dive into the topic. Topic tonight is New Year's success. So defining New Year's success. I have two main points that we'll talk about when it comes to how we define those things, and then I have I want to say 5 affirmations to share in addition to that. So this is a very interactive live. Feel free to talk back to me. If you have any questions, if you want to talk through anything, if this is your first time, my name is Debbie. I am a certified mindfulness coach. This channel is all things mindfulness and meditation. Typically, all of my videos are guided meditations, and you'll see those posted throughout the week. But every Monday, I go live to discuss a mindfulness topic or a mental health topic. So that's why we're here. This is what we're talking about for today. Again, let me know if you have any questions. If this is your first time, please let me know. I want to hear from you. Let me know where you're watching from, and we'll dive in and talk through these 2 first points. Just a second here. So when we're talking about New Year's success, and I know that we talk about this every year, right? At the end of every year, we're talking about what are our New Year's resolutions? What, do we want to make sure that we, take into consideration when we go into 2025 or go into the next year? And then there's usually a rhyme of some sort. I'm going to thrive in 2025 or something silly. Like, I get it. I know it's kind of redundant to talk about this every year, but I think it is important to really hone into what success looks like for you each year. So that way you are able to clarify some things, bring things into perspective, as well as like what your wants and desires are going into the new year. And I think it is important and intentional for you to actually plan what you're looking for. Hi Mia, welcome from Pennsylvania. I'm actually originally from Pennsylvania, so nice. Welcome in. So when it comes to really defining New Year's success and surpassing the anecdote of, oh, this is, New Year's resolution, scrap that. This is more so of really like diving in and understanding like what you want your next year to look like. Hey Hiru, welcome back. So really diving in and understanding those things. So there's 2 points. I'm not going to hit it too hard, right? There's 2 main points that I want us to look at before we go into our affirmations for tonight. The first point is where do I start, right? When I'm thinking about New Year's success, where do I start? You start with your reflection of this year, right? You start with reflecting with how you have been impacted mentally, spiritually, professionally, financially, and socially, okay? And it's okay to write that down. How did you manage this year mentally? How was your mental health this year? And really asking yourself, what did that look like? How did you manage spiritually, right? Spiritually, is spirituality even something that you think about? Is it something that you are concerned about? Is it something that you are actually thinking about managing and thinking about that and reflecting on that, right? How did you manage professionally? What happened with your career? What happened with your job? What is the status of your career? What is the status of your, you have your end of year reviews coming and all that stuff. Thinking about where you are professionally. Where are you financially? Have you hit all your financial goals? Are you making the amount of money that you want to make? Did you save the amount of money that you wanted to save? Are you saving for retirement? Do you have, what in the bank, what you want? And really thinking about that, right? And then socially, how did you manage socially? How did you manage your relationships? Do you feel more isolated right now, or do you have the support in your life that you need? Thinking about all of those things and really taking the time to reflect on those things, so that way you have a good sense of what to expect going into the new year, but also like what you want for the new year. So a few questions that I have that you can ask yourself. And you can ask yourself these questions in any of these areas. So mentally, spiritually, professionally, financially, socially. How did you manage? What went well, right? What didn't go well this year? What good habits do you have? What good habits don't you have? Or what bad habits do you have, right? Or what bad habits do you need to break? What good choices did you make this year? What bad choices did you make this year? Asking yourself these questions, taking inventory of your circle, taking inventory of the people that you value most in your life, taking inventory of who do I go to when something is wrong and what are their responses, right? Really thinking about, is my circle the circle that I need to be in? Is it supportive? Is it, a circle that will allow me to grow and be a better version of me? Or is it a circle that's going to keep me stagnant where I am today? Is it a circle that's going to allow me to progress? Is it a circle that has my best interest at heart? Thinking about all of those things, taking inventory. Now, granted, this ain't a one night thing, y'all. A couple of days that you're going to be journaling and thinking through all of these things. But yeah, taking an inventory of your circle is very crucial and important when it comes to your end of year success. And then lastly, which is actually not even last, is very much the most important thing, taking inventory of how you're spending your time. How are you spending your time? Where are you spending your time? Is there times within the year where you felt like you were more so wasting time, right? So really thinking about how you spend your time in a way that you really want to do this, and you probably want to hate doing this, but it's a good place to start is to check your time, your screen time on your phone. And in each month, how much screen time were you spending, on your phone? Thinking about the people that you spent time with, the places that you went. Really thinking about, based off of just the overview, how am I actually spending my time? Am I spending 90% of my time at work and not spending any time with family? Or am I spending too much time with friends and I'm not spending enough time being productive within my career or in school or whatever? So thinking about how you're spending your time and taking inventory of that, really reflecting on that is crucial and important. So that's the first step, starting with reflection of this year. And then after that, the next step is, what do you want, right? What do you want out of 2025? Define what you want. Define your why, understanding why you want the things that you want. If you are a spiritual person, what do you feel that, if you're spending your time in prayer, or if you're spending your time in commune with God, like asking him, what do you want from me for 2025? How can I provide? How can I, set myself up? What are the expectations that you have for me? Whatever it looks like for you, right? But really taking the time to figure out what you want, define that. What does that look like? Tangible. Write it down, right? And then defining your why. Why do you want that? What is the drive behind that? Because a lot of times we may want something, we may go for something, and there's no substance as to why. And then when we get to the end of the year, we wonder why it didn't happen. And it's like, because you didn't really have a why. There really was no definition behind it. You just thought it was something that you needed to do versus it being something that is really what you want. It's something that you actually have a why and have a legitimate why behind it. And you have goals and things set for it. You're not going to actively go after something that you may think that you want it, but after you really think through and reflect on it, you're like, you know what? I actually don't really want that. I actually want this. So it's not just figuring out what you want, but taking it a step further and defining your why. And then once you define your why, once you find out what you want, again, we've talked about this before, setting clear goals and expectations. I got glitter on my face from putting up the Christmas tree. But setting clear goals and expectations, right? So, and when I say setting goals, making sure that you are setting goals that are, one, attainable, but, and then that's not to say that you can't dream, right? But setting really markers, because sometimes what we'll do is we'll set one big hefty goal and we won't set what the actual markers are going to be to get there. So yeah, I want to do this big, huge thing, and not to say that it can't happen, it can, but what are some of the things that I can proactively do month to month or week to week or day to day that can easily get, not easily, because not all goals are easy, but that can get me there, right? So if I have this hefty goal to save, a certain amount financially, then what are my monthly goals? So if I'm looking to save $5,000, by the end of halfway through the year, then what are my goals each month? What are my goals with each paycheck? What are my goals with each each week? You know what I mean? Really taking the time to, I have this goal, but how am I going to get there? And what can I do proactively to get there? So thinking about your goals, making sure that they're clear, making sure your expectations of yourself are clear, but then also setting up those markers of, okay, once I get to this point, I need to be here. Once I get to this point, I need to be here. So a lot of times we struggle with goal setting because we have the dream, right? We have what the end result is going to look like. We know what that part's going to look like, but we don't know what the process is. We don't know how to even quantify the progress. Okay, so thinking about the goals, setting expectations, being clear about those goals and expectations, but also putting together a plan and understanding, okay, this is the plan and I have to follow the plan. A lot of times when it comes to goals, it has nothing to do with whether you can obtain the goal. It's whether you can be disciplined enough to obtain the goal. The discipline is what's most important. And I say that as someone that can struggle with discipline sometimes when it comes to certain goals that I'm trying to accomplish. But we're getting there, right? So really think about that. Be realistic with the goals that you set. If you know that you're not going to do something, why set it that way? Find a way for it to work that works for you, instead of what people tell you they think that you should do. Like, for instance, if you have a goal to lose weight and your people are telling you, oh, you have to work out in the morning, oh, you have to work out in the morning. If you know you're not a morning person, if you know you're not going to get up at 5 a.m., if you know that for a fact, you're like, I know I'm not getting up this early, then why set that as your expectations, right? If you know that based off of, you got to be at work at 7, and so you need to work out. In order for you to work out in the morning, you have to work, get up at 5 or 5:30, and you know you're not a morning person. Think that through again, right? Is there a way for you to work out at home when you get home? Is there a way for you to work out if you work from home? Is there a way for you to work out on your break? Is there a way for you to break it up to where maybe you're not doing an hour workout in the morning? Maybe you're doing a 30-minute workout in the morning and then doing a 30-minute workout after work. Figuring out what makes sense, so that way you're not setting these expectations that you're not going to reach, and then just based off of you knowing you, right? And then getting to the end of the year and like, oh, I didn't make it. Well, yeah, because you set unrealistic expectations. So be realistic with yourself, be realistic with your expectations, and be honest with yourself when creating your goals and setting your expectations. I rambled there, but I hope that's helpful. And then I think the next point I kind of already covered, which was just holding yourself accountable to your improvements. Finding ways to hold yourself accountable and to remain disciplined. I know that's easier said than done. And I know that as someone who can struggle, especially with working out. I gave the context of working out. That's me, y'all. I'm not a morning person. I don't like working out in the morning. But there's some aspects of it where I know that I have to at least do half in the morning and do half on my break, right? So holding yourself accountable for the improvements that you want to make is crucial when it comes to figuring out your goals and setting those expectations. Even if it's a matter of you holding yourself accountable by telling your support system, like, hey, this is what I'm trying to do. I need your help to hold me accountable, right? So thinking about all of those things is crucial and important when thinking about holding yourself accountable, right? Hi, Mia. I'm good. Thank you for asking. I hope all is well with you too. Okay, so holding yourself accountable is that last point, but I hope that this is helpful to start even thinking about success for 2025. I don't want to dismiss the New Year's resolutions, but kind of dismiss that and really be intentional about your reflections, your journaling, and setting those clear expectations. Okay, so affirmations. I have 5 affirmations for tonight. I hope that these are helpful. Feel free to use the affirmations however you wish to. You can journal them. You can write them down on sticky notes. You can post them up. You can recite them, however you want to do it. If you need to change the language of the affirmations, please do. This is just a template. And feel free to talk back to me if you have any questions or anything like that. Mia, definitely need to start holding myself accountable. Yeah. And it may look different depending on where you are in life, because holding yourself accountable can be something as small as, doing well, this may not be small because it's not small for me, but thinking about my whole thing is I want to start prepping my foods, prepping my dinners like on Sundays, and having things like, set up and ready throughout the week. For some reason, it is so hard for me to stay disciplined in that. So I'm trying to think of like ways to do it, whether it be like I do something, I slow cook a meal on Sunday, and then that's something that I can just, pack up for the next 3 days. I'm thinking, I don't like leftovers. It's like after a certain day, it's like, ew, I don't want that no more. So I'm thinking that I may have to do 2 meal preps, one on Sunday and then another one on Wednesday nights. So that way I'm not eating like leftovers, because me cooking on Sunday and still eating that on Thursday is disgusting to me. I cannot do it. I can't do it. But I know that for my health goals that I need to start prepping my food instead of eating Chipotle or whatever. So I know that there's some things that I need to do, and I'm better. I'm better than I was. It's it's not, no, it's just not good anymore. It's just slimy and just it doesn't heat up well, and it's just, yeah, I don't like that. So that's one of the things that I'm trying to figure out for myself. That's why I was saying slow cooking meals, because slow cooked meals seem to heat up better throughout the week. But I still feel like after Wednesday, I'm not going to want to eat it. So, and then I end up eating out and end up spending money. So this was my way of, one, helping with health, but also helping with financial stuff, because I want to start saving a little bit more. And I realized that after my review, I spend a lot of money on eating out. So, and even though I don't eat a lot of fast food, which is one of the things that I'm trying to stay away from. So I haven't had McDonald's in years. I haven't had Burger King in years, or Wendy's or anything like that. The only thing I really eat is Chipotle and like Chick-fil-A. But other than that, but yeah, so I'm trying to stay away from that. But yeah, we got to think about in setting our goals, what is actually going to work for you. For other people, they want to tell you, oh, you set it up for the whole week and that's how you do your meal prep. That's not going to work for me. Every time I try it, it's disgusting by the time I hit Thursday. So think about that. Okay, affirmations. Number 1, we have 5 affirmations. The first one, I honor the lessons I've learned and move forward with wisdom. I honor the lessons that I've learned and move forward with wisdom. I honor the lessons I've learned and move forward with wisdom. I do these every Monday at 8 p.m. It's this Monday or today, and then next Monday, and then I'm going to be on break until the first week of January, that first Monday in January. But yes, every Monday. Yes, I honor the lessons I've learned and move forward with wisdom. So this affirmation is just for you to take into consideration the difficulties that you ran into this past year, and how you can learn from those different difficulties and use those to operate in wisdom in 2025. Because for me, I feel like there's no failures or mistakes as long as you learn the lesson, right? Because if you have a failure and you have a mistake, but you also learn from it, then is it really a failure or a mistake? Because it's made you a better version of you, right? So I always tell myself to not let my failures and mistakes go to waste and stop making the same mistakes over and over and over again. So this is just a reminder to honor the lessons that you've learned, reflect on the lessons that you've learned, just like we talked about earlier in the live, to really take the time to reflect on the year, take all of those lessons into considerations, all of those mistakes, all of those failures, I say that in air quotes, and learn from them and operate in wisdom moving forward and concerning those mistakes and failures. And when I say wisdom isn't just understanding. Wisdom is application of what you have understood, right? So it's not just having the knowledge or having the information, but it's also being able to apply it in a wise way into your life. So that's why I was very specific with moving forward with wisdom, because with wisdom comes that understanding, and you're able to operate in a better way, right? I heard from someone, you either win or you learn, and I like that. Yeah. I honor the lessons I've learned. Thank you so much for putting that in the chat. Thank you. Yes, it's definitely important to like really change your perspective on how you think about failures and mistakes, because when you think about failures and mistakes as, oh, I just messed up, I need to forgive myself, I messed up, I blubbed up, whatever, there is no, if you get stuck in that, there's no progression, right? There's no way to actually move forward when you're stuck in that auto replay of your failure or mistake or what you messed up, right? That's how we end up in depression. That's how we end up at burnout. That's how we end up frustrated. That's how we end up bitter. That's how we end up in all of these different emotions that can spiral and then also just continue and bubble over. So in order for us to be able to learn from the lesson is to honor them as they are. They were a lesson. This is something that I had to learn from. I had so many things that went great this year, but I also had some things that didn't go so great, and I learned from them, right? And when I move forward, I'm going to move forward with wisdom, right? Not to say that not to say you won't mess up again. And that's not to say that, but learning the lesson is what's most important. So that's number one. I honor the lessons I've learned and move forward with wisdom. Number two, I release regret and embrace gratitude for all that I have experienced. I release regret and embrace gratitude for all that I have experienced. I release regret and embrace gratitude for all that I have experienced. That's just taking number one a step further and releasing anything that you're still holding on to from 2024. Any of the mistakes, any of the failures, any of the frustration, any of the pain, any of the grief that you've experienced in 2024, and in addition to any regrets, letting those go, embracing gratitude, which is honoring those lessons, right? And then moving forward and progressing forward and taking that into consideration for all you have experienced, the good and the bad. Because a lot of times we take the time to show gratitude for the good things, but the bad things or the things that we think are bad, because a lot of times those failures, those doors that's closed, those people that walked out of our lives, all of those things, I always think about those things as protection versus rejection. And when you think about it in, okay, this person walked out of my life because God was protecting me from whatever they had going on, right? They're either protecting me from them or protecting me from myself and the person that I would be with that person still in my life, right? So thinking about all of those things and embracing and having gratitude for all of the experiences will allow you to release them and walk into 2025 in a new space, in a new headspace, in a new mindset. So that was, I release regret and embrace gratitude for all that I have experienced. Number three, I forgive myself and others for any mistakes, allowing peace to guide me. I forgive myself and others for any mistakes, allowing peace to guide me. I forgive myself and others for any mistakes, allowing peace to guide me. Forgiving yourself for those lessons that you had to learn, those failures, those mistakes. Forgiving others for the things that they've done, because at the end of the day, you don't want those people to have control over you. And when you're operating in unforgiveness, that person has that control, right? So letting things go for the sake of peace is hard. Believe me, I understand. I have some people I gotta forgive this year, okay? But taking the time to process those things and letting those things go, so that way you can be the best version of yourself, because operating in unforgiveness and bitterness and spite and just revenge in general is not, that was loud, y'all, is not the best space to be in when going into a new year. When you're looking to accomplish new things and you be a better version of yourself, and to shed some things, unforgiveness is the first thing you got to shed, because unforgiveness takes up space. Takes up space in your heart, takes up space in your mind, it takes up space in everything you do. Unforgiveness is stored in the body, so in order for you to have room for the beautiful, wonderful things that life can provide us, we have to release the BS. We got to release that in order for us to accept and take in what we want to take in, or what we need to take in, or what God has for us. You know what I mean? We can't make room for God and for the beautiful pieces of life if it's stored up with anger, regret, resentment, frustration. Like, peace can't live there, okay? And I want peace to live here, all right? And that's where I want to be. And if that means that I got to let go of something somebody said to me, or let go of something somebody did to me, then I'm going to let it go. Now, that's not saying that you got to reconcile. That don't mean that you got to be best of friends. That don't mean that you have to even come to that person to say, oh my gosh, I forgive you. No, that's not what that means. It just means that internally, in my heart, in my spirit, in my soul, I release whatever that is. I release that bad energy. I release what that does to my mind and to my spirit. And I embrace joy. I embrace happiness. I embrace love and patience. I embrace those things. That was number 3. I forgive myself and others for any mistakes, allowing peace to guide me. What if you can't forgive? How to find peace while not forgiving? It's going to be hard for you to find peace without forgiving. And again, forgiveness is not you condoning what that person did, right? And whether it's a person or a situation or whatever, it's not condoning what they did. Forgiveness is saying that regardless of what this person did to me, I'm not going to allow that to penetrate my heart and to penetrate who I am as a person. And it's not going to stunt my growth, because unforgiveness in your heart stunts your growth. It stunts the opportunity for you to be the better version of yourself and for you to be the best version of yourself. So forgiveness is not for that person. It's for you. It's for you to be able to release and let it go, so that way you can make room for the beautiful pieces of life, right? And it's going to be hard. And if you think about life and you think about how you've gone through life, right? There's a lot of people that may have done something or said something or wasn't the best person to you, right? So as you go through life and you're building up that list of people that have done you wrong, by the time you hit a certain age, you're going to be filled with all this unforgiveness and hate for people and individuals that I won't say that could care less, but don't even know how you feel, or those people are going on with their lives, or those people have passed away, and you're still holding on to all of the hurt and pain that they've caused you, right? And I'm not dismissing what that person has done, but at a certain point, you have to at least be able to release what has happened, so that way you can be a better version of yourself. Again, it's not easy. By all means, it's not easy. I've had my share of people in life that I had a really, really tough time forgiving. And sometimes it's maybe something you have to work out through therapy. It's something you have to work out with God and through prayer and things of that matter. It's going to be some work at times. But I guess it's a matter of choosing your hard, right? It's hard living a life of unforgiveness, and it's hard to forgive. But with forgiving comes peace. So do you want to have a little bit of hardness now where you have to go ahead and process that forgiveness so that way you can come to peace, or live the rest of your life in unforgiveness, which can cause pain, turmoil, and destruction down the road. Because unforgiveness comes out in other ways. It comes out in anger. It comes out in health issues. It comes out in so many different ways to where it could even impact your relationships down the line. It could impact your relationships generationally. There's so many things that could happen when it comes to unforgiveness. So really thinking about weighing the positives and the negatives. You're welcome, Mia. It's an honest question. And don't feel bad about asking the question, girl. Listen. Listen, I've been there. There's a lot of people that I've had to go through the process and forgive in order for me to be in a better place. Am I perfect? No, not at all. I'm not perfect at all. But I do understand that forgiveness is one of the key factors of figuring out and finding peace. So I hope that was helpful, y'all. That was number 3. We got 2 more. Number 4, I move forward with hope, determination, and a clear vision for my life. I move forward with hope, determination, and a clear vision for my life. I move forward with hope, determination, and a clear vision for my life. So moving forward with hope. Where there's life, there's hope, right? Where there's breath in your body, there's hope to be a better version of you. So moving forward with that, with determination, making sure that you stay resilient, stay determined, stay hopeful, stay to the point where you won't quit, right? At least not quit this life, and having a clear vision. You may not have a clear vision now, but with reflection, with time, with prayer, with really sitting and figuring out and reflecting on where you've been and what you want, a clear vision will come. Could you read the second affirmation again, please? Yes. Number 2 was, I release regret and embrace gratitude for all that I've experienced. I release regret and embrace gratitude for all that I've experienced. I release regret and embrace gratitude for all that I've experienced. That's number 2. Number 3 was, I forgive myself and others for any mistakes, allowing peace to guide me. And number 4, I move forward with hope, determination, and a clear vision for my life. All right, that was number 4. And then lastly, number 5, y'all. What is number 5? Oh, number 5, I welcome the flow of life as an opportunity to create a better me. I welcome the flow of life as an opportunity to create a better me. I welcome the flow of life as an opportunity to create a better me. So understanding that the flow of life, and when I flow of life, it's more so thinking, as we go through this life, one thing that we're not going to be able to stop is change. We're not going to be able to stop evolution. We're not going to be able to stop what the people around us and how they evolve and how they change. So instead of pushing against it, welcoming change, welcome the flow of life, and welcome it as an opportunity for you to evolve, for you to get better, for you to learn, for you to build skill and character and talent, and to build character, and using that flow of life and those changes as an opportunity to create a better sense of self. One thing I learned this year for myself is that life is going to evolve and change. And I spend a lot of time and energy trying to change the change, right? Me trying to fix the change. And if I would have just taken the time to embrace those changes, versus trying to fix those changes, I would have saved myself so much energy, so much time, and I would have provided myself more of a sense of peace. So one thing I had to learn is to trust God in this flow of life. And when there's uncertainty and when there's situations where I'm just not quite sure, I know that He's not the author of confusion. So it's most likely not going to be something that's for me anyway, right? So as long as I take this flow of life and this flow of change, take it on as an opportunity versus something that's trying to come against me. Like, you know how you have that thought process of, why is this happening to me? Why is, why am I the one to have to encounter this? Thinking through like all of these, like, why, woe is me type thought patterns. Those thought patterns, I have learned, are meant to waste your time. They are so meant to waste your time, because the more that you focus on woe is me, why does this happen to me? You thinking about those, complaining is another thing, just complaining about the things that are happening. And the more that I thought about, how can I navigate this? How can I manage this? How can I come to a solution? The more I was proactive in thinking of those thought process and mindsets rather than woe is me, the faster those things, though, I got through those issues and problems, because I got through those issues and problems a lot quicker in those moments, rather than sitting in the depression of what was happening. When you sit in the depression of what is happening, that prolongs that thing to continue to happen. The more that you shift your mindset, or intentionally shift your mindset to, how can I come to a solution? How can I manage this? How can I work with this? How can I continue to progress without stopping? How can I be proactive? How can I be productive in this time frame? The more that I thought about those thoughts versus the more that I thought about me complaining and whining and crying and, oh my gosh, what's happening? And the faster I was able to get through those problems, and it wasn't that bad by the time I got through it. You know what I mean? But the more I complained, the more I got frustrated, the more I sat in those feelings, and the more depressed I became. So understanding to welcome the flow of life, and welcome that flow of life as an opportunity to create a better you, versus it being, this is attacking me, if that makes sense. Instead of it being, this is attacking me, how is this helping me? How is this happening for me versus to me, right? Thinking of all of those ways when thinking about your past in this past year and how you can progress is a much better mindset to be in than to be woe is me. Because woe is me is depression. That's what it is. I hate to say it like that. But woe is me is depression. All right? It's burnout. It's frustration. It's anger. It's resentment. That's what that is. Okay? So I hope these were helpful, y'all. Those were the 5 affirmations. Number 1 is, I honor the lessons I've learned and move forward with wisdom. Number 2, I release regret and embrace gratitude for all that I've experienced. Number 3, I forgive myself and others for any mistakes, allowing peace to guide me. Number 4, I move forward with hope, determination, and a clear vision of my life. Number 5, I welcome the flow of life as an opportunity to create a better me. I hope this was helpful, y'all. This was part 1, because part 2 next Monday, which will be our last live for the year. We're going to dive into journaling. We're going to dive into affirmations, how to use them, and why it's important to use them. I'll most likely have some journaling questions for you. You're welcome, Hiru. I'll most likely have some journaling questions for you that you can, in addition to what we've already shared, and then some additional affirmations. So I hope this was helpful. If this is your first time, there's a whole lot of things, a whole lot of resources that you can have. So make sure to go to haveninspired.com. The link is going to be down below. There you can sign up for the newsletter, so that way you can get mindfulness news every week. You can also sign up there for just the newsletter for right now. I might have some workshops coming in 2025. I'll keep y'all up to date on that. But so you can sign up for the newsletter. If you want to take a look at the book, my book, Not Self, Let Me Be Great, is a self-doubt workbook. So feel free to check that out. Link is down below. And make sure I'm not forgetting anything. Yeah, newsletter, book, cool. Y'all all have a great rest of your day. You're welcome, Mia. Thank you so much for joining. And I hope to see y'all on next Monday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Again, it will be the last live for the year. But if you guys have any questions, have anything that y'all want to talk about in regards to next year, let me know. Definitely drop them down in the comments or shoot me an email at info@haveninspired.com. But until next time, y'all all have a great rest of your night. I will see you soon. Same to you. Have a good night. Bye-bye.